GoMath has the personal math trainer, which can be used for your weekly, mid-chapter, and end-of-chapter tests. To assign them to students, click Browse and find your grade level for GoMath. Click on Program Structure, the unit you're working in, and the chapter. Each lesson within the chapter does have a brief assessment that you can give to students. Click the lesson, click Lesson Level Resources, and scroll to find the PMT Lesson, Tests, and Quizzes. Click on it to preview. You will see this has 2 questions, so it's a very brief quiz. Click on the chapter name to find the mid-chapter test as well as post-test for the entire chapter. To find the mid-chapter test, click on Chapter Level Resources, scroll down to Assessments, and you will see PMT Chapter 3 Mid-Chapter Checkpoint. Again, you can preview this by clicking on it. To find the post-test, scroll back up to the top and click Review Test. Click Core Instruction. Here you will see PMT Chapter 3 post-test homework as well as tests and quizzes. The homework can be used as a practice test for asynchronous or synchronous instruction, and then the tests and quizzes can be used as the actual assessment. Click on Assign to assign this to your students. Once you return to the Assign page in Think Central, you have a few options. One is to add it directly to the students as is, and 2 is to modify. By clicking Modify, a new window will pop up where you can make some adjustments to the assessment. All of these questions on the right-hand side are currently on the assignment, which is 21 exercises. You can click on each one and click Preview to see what this will look like for students. Since you're previewing all of the questions, you can remove them if you do not want this particular question on your assessment. You can continue to scroll through to remove any questions that you do not want on your assessment. So if you do not want this question on your assessment, you would click Remove this question, and it has been removed from your assessment. Once you have reached the bottom, click Close. You will now see you have 20 exercises in the assignment because you removed one question. You can also choose to change the assignment title by clicking in here. You can also choose to move these questions around if you want by clicking the up and down arrows, and it will rearrange them. On the left-hand side, you can choose to add additional questions. Be sure you have the correct unit, the chapter, and then you can choose the different lessons within that chapter to add additional questions. For example, if I know that my students were struggling with multiply with regrouping and I would like some additional questions, I can choose that. And then at the bottom, I will have additional questions that I can ask. So I can choose one of these questions and view and determine if that is something that I would like to add to my test. And then click Close. I now have 21 exercises on the assignment. You can also select previous chapters so that you can add review questions to this assessment. Once you're finished adding all your questions and you have your test set up as you would like, click Save. Now you can give your assignment a name, select your class, add all your students, add when it's available and a due date, determine if you want students to see their answers or not, and then save. And click OK. If you scroll down, you will find your math test and not started. Let's show you what this looks like on the student side. When a student logs into Think Central, they will see the Things to Do page. They will click on it, and they will scroll through to find the assessment. In this case, there's the Math Chapter 3 test. Click on Math Chapter 3, and again, Math Chapter 3 test. A new window will open, which will have instructions for the students, and they click Start. They will work their way through the questions on the math test. Once they've responded, they would click Next to get to the next question. The students may have drop-downs, and they continue through the test. Some of the questions may be drag and drop. Students would simply drag the numbers and drop them in the box where they belong, and then click Next. If students need to pause and return to the test later, they can click Save and Close. Once they finish the test, they would click Turn it in. The status of the test will then be changed to Completed. Back on the teacher side, you will now see Results. Click on Results to see the student score. If you click on the student score, a new window will open where you can see specifics about what the student got incorrect. Once you expand this, you can click View Question to see the question that the students were provided. You will see the correct response as well as the student's response. You can click Expand All to see all questions expanded. You can see here this student was given some partial credit. Click View Question to see that student was given some credit for having the 4. However, this portion was incorrect. You can click Close at the bottom to return to the screen. If you do not want students to have partial credit, you can check the student score and click Enter Scores, at which point you would check the student again and click Score. You would then click View All Questions, at which point you can go through and score differently. For example, this was the one where students were given partial credit. If you do not want them to have partial credit, you can mark it as completely wrong. You can also add additional comments for each question. When you finish, be sure you click Save. Click Assignments List to return to your list of assignments. And that's how you can assign, customize, and score assessments in GoMath.